Hello everybody and welcome back to Analog Vernacular. We're going to be playing some more Rogue Trader today, and yeah, I think we might have taken the mantle of the Rogue Trader by coming into this room and reading the, what is this called? The trade something? The Warrant of Trade? Something weird just happened, and we got to find out what. Either way, we have been deemed important at this point, so... also, I believe that because of what happened in the last episode story-wise, we took on an injury. So now we have an old injury, stack 1 of 20. Duration is permanent. An injury that wasn't healed in time. It can be healed with a medikit, but it requires passing a Medicae skill test to succeed. Too many injuries reduce the character's resolve and cause traumas. Visit the void ship or try to use a medikit to remove the injury. So in other words, we just have this for a while until we can get a medikit. But also, I don't think that we have the Medicae skill, so I don't even think that we have a character that can use a medikit. I don't know, we'll have to see how that works. Okay, turret. Still red hot from the gunfire, the engines of death froze as they finished off the heretics that had infiltrated the Sanctum of the void ship. Oh, something else that I think we can do. Is it here? No, it's probably this, right? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, this will show text logs. I'm gonna put that up a little bit, just because some of these things that we interact with go away pretty quickly, and it will allow it to stay here. So if I push F, it'll allow me to sort of just like follow. The camera will auto-follow.
Keep your eye on the price.
Or I can use WASD. WASD. Alright, so what is my goal right now? No one must reach the warrant. A simple order to the Sentinel Cogitator will lock the chamber. Discover the whereabouts of Adelthrad the heir. Is that what we're working on right now? Or does the X mean that we failed that?
Keep your wits about you.
Okay, we got this little robot following us around. Okay, maybe there's more to do in here. Seal it. There we go. Of your Lord Captain, whose house each of you swore to serve till your last breath, may your souls never lose the fervor.
Master, whatever are you doing in the Warrant chamber? How did you... Throne preserve me, what is the meaning of this?
The Golden Throne of Terra, an arcane of cybernetic artifact that encases the God Emperor's physical remains entire and preserves them using stasis fields and psi fusion reactors. Is he conscious? Or are we being led by a literal, like, comatose body being kept alive? There's so much about this world that I don't know. That sounds wild. I love it, though. Kunrad Voidver is a traitor. When we parted ways on the officer's deck, he stunned me somehow and brought me here.
What?
He intended to take revenge on Theodora for something, and trying to reach the warrant was somehow part of that plan.
Oh, holy God, Emperor. I presume he is the one responsible for the mutiny. And, Master, I wish to remind you that you are to refer to the Lord Captain as Lady Theodora.
Unquestionably.
Saint's blood! And it is small wonder that the heretics are so well organized. I thought his order to seal the passages between decks was his attempt to stop the attackers from spreading to other levels. But now I see the real reason. It was to stop the enforcers from intervening. At least you are alive, and now safe, Master. Alas, I doubt we can afford to look for a compartment to sit out this disaster. You're in a bad way. I can treat your wounds. I have a Medicaid kit with me. And, for the love of the throne, now is not a good time to be walking around the decks without means of self-defense.
Nice. Okay, stub revolver, a sword, armored body glove, and a medikit. Okay, find a weapon and accept Abelard's aid. While fighting, your characters can lose some of their wounds. Your character has suffered an injury after being attacked by Kunrad. This happens when a character receives damage that exceeds 50% of their maximum wounds within one round. The exact percentage of wounds a character must lose for this to happen may vary depending on the difficulty of the game. Injuries reduce the character's resolve, so in our case, that should be representative, 50%. I'm guessing that would change based on whatever difficulty we're in. Alright, when a character initially suffers an injury, it is considered a fresh injury during the first 3 rounds. Once 3 rounds have passed, a fresh injury becomes an old injury. A fresh injury can be healed using a medikit without passing any skill tests. Okay, but old injuries take a skill test, and that's based on medikit. Old injuries can be healed with the medikit, but they require the character administering the treatment to pass a medikit skill test to succeed. I don't think we're super good at medikit either, so... Use medikits to restore wounds and heal injuries. Note that when a character loses all of their wounds, they fall unconscious. Wounds is HP. Once the combat is over, the wounds of all party members are replenished automatically, but any injuries they may have sustained remain. Those can be healed with the medikit. Medikits can only be used by characters who have the field medic feature, there you go, base skill medikit, or have taken medikit skill advancement at least once. Whenever a character uses a medikit in battle, a medikit skill test determines the number of wounds that will be restored as a result. Okay. You've got new items. All items are added to your inventory. You can open it by pressing I or clicking on the bag icon on the right side of the screen. On the inventory screen, weapons, armor, and other items can be equipped or interacted with in other ways. Medikits can be used to replenish wounds and heal injuries. Okay, can we also add those to these? Kind of like a item hotbar? I'm guessing yes. How, I don't know. Okay. Armor, 15%. The character wearing this armor will dodge 40% of average enemy attacks in this chapter. Now, I think that 40% is offset by the character's either melee stat or their range stat. So I don't think that 40% is just like base, but it's offset by the other character's stat as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. This armor reduces the incoming damage of average enemy attacks in this chapter by 10%. I mean, will that even tell me that? No, I can't hover over that. Okay. Prerequisites. Must not have features Adeptus Astartes equipment? Interesting. I don't know what that means. But I'm wondering if you start to align with certain factions, you won't be allowed to wear certain armor. That would make sense in this world, I think. Okay, we can have both and we can switch between them. We're going to be better at using our ranged weapon, but having this allows us to do opportunity attacks from what I understand, so you still probably want a ranged and a melee on every character, even if they're not necessarily good at one or the other. Options are never bad, even if you're bad at them. Can't be equipped by this character because we don't have Medicae or Field Medic or base skill Medicae. Okay. And this other guy, oh, he did join us.
I'm at your service.
I'm guessing he probably has Medicae, but we'll have to see. To equip new weapons or armor, open the inventory and double-click left mouse button on the item. You can hold left button, drag the item to the right slot. It becomes highlighted, makes sense. To view the parameters of an item, hover your cursor. Another way to view details is to right mouse button. We've already done all of it, so we were ahead of them. You can switch between party members using the arrows at the top of the inventory screen, or click the left mouse button on a character's portrait. Okay, you also get comparisons.
We are the spearhead of the Imperium.
Okay, so yep, he can use this. Now, oh, those are the equipment slots, which are probably the F1, F2, yep, okay. Now the question is can you use it on another character? Hold on, let me quick save, just in case clicking this accidentally uses it.
This wound will make a fight. That is a noticeable
Well, there we go.
improvement. Now you're prepared for the trials ahead. The lower decks are teeming with heretics instigating the rabble to revolt. But that is the least of our problems. The ship's enforcers are rounding up the scoundrels and suppressing the resistance. The situation on the middle decks is much worse, although strike teams have already been dispatched there. All communication with the bridge and the engineering bay was lost. So, apart from scattered voxcasts, we have no information to go on. But that is not the worst of it. All these jolts and shaking are most alarming. These are signs that the Navigator and the Master Helmsman are having difficulty translating the ship out of the warp and into real space. I fear that they may have already lost control. We must reach the Navigator's Sanctum and get a handle on the situation. If we can manage that, some aboard this vessel may yet survive.
Yeah, is Conrad's like, does he just want to destroy us at this point? Because I thought initially that maybe he wanted to try and take over the ship, which is why he was trying to get into here, but now that he failed that, I wonder if, like, destruction is his path. How did you find me?
You sent me a Vox message. Specifically, a Vox cast on the officer's frequency, which I had the good fortune to receive. You mean to say you did no such thing?
I wonder if that happened automatically through our call for help? And what exactly has gone wrong with the translation?
I am no helmsman, or God Emperor preserve me navigator. However, I've spent my entire life aboard void ships equipped with warp drives, and I know that portents such as these do not bode well. It could be that the Geller field has faltered. Perhaps the Navigator was struck down by warp corruption and is fighting for the last shreds of his humanity as we speak. If we get thrown off course, we will be forever lost in the warp. Naturally, we would likely not have long to live in that scenario. But I will not resign myself to such an outcome just yet.
I think that the Warrant Sentinel may have sent that message. It appeared when I opened the chamber.
Warrant Sentinel? The Lord Captain barely ever ventures down to the chamber, and I was at her side only once or twice when she did. And I did not see anything of the sort. The Warrant Chamber is an ancient and rather sacred mechanism that the ship's tech priests treat with the utmost reverence. I assume that whatever it is that you did, you must have activated certain processes and caused the Sentinel to awaken. But then, why did none of it happen when Lady Theodora did the same?
That is interesting, actually. So, Lady Theodora wasn't able to do the same shit we did. Huh. That's interesting. Intriguing. I am intrigued. Also, with these tech priests and stuff, it seems like they worship technology. And I think I got a little bit of this in the lore primer that I watched from Mortismal. But correct me if I'm wrong, but this is kind of like a regressed society. In other words, like technology was more solid in the past, but as time has gone on, we understand it less, so it's like been turned into almost a religion, where we have some level of understanding, but not a full level of understanding. Is that correct? So, tech priests are the rulers of the Adeptus Mechanicus. They revere technology as the object of their devotion. They direct the endeavors of fabrication and lead the followers of the machine god in unforgiving crusades of ruthless acquisition. Okay. What can we expect to find in the Navigator Sanctum?
During warp transit, the Sanctum is closed to all who are not involved in traversing the Imperium. And for good reason. For the Navigator to open their third eye and perceive the way, the Sanctum must be bathed in the energies of the Immaterial. Only a Navigator can withstand such an ordeal. For the rest of us, any contact with the warp is fraught with perils such as loss of sanity, spontaneous mutations, and death.
Oh, good. Alright. So yeah, the warp sounds fucked, dude. Very dangerous, but basically it's our method of light travel, or not, the equivalent of light travel, to travel long distances in a short amount of time. It's our only way of doing it, so like, I guess it's like worth the risk. I heard one of Theodora's Vox casts.
Lady Theodora. Which one?
Every damn
The
time.
last one I received was about the Navigator's Sanctum, and that was a good while ago. In any case, let us hope that the Lord Captain is well, and safely in charge of the ship's defense. In the meantime, we must do all we can to prevent the ship from veering off course.
For the Imperium and humanity, lead the way, Seneschal.
Come.
Okay, this is Theodora again. To arms, loyal sons and daughters of the God Emperor. Fight and Fight the heresy and corruption that threatens to consume our home, and with all your might destroy those who have dared.
The Lord Captain is calling her crew to battle, which means the Vox networks are set up for broadcast transmission, not message exchange. Splendid. While the rogue trader inspires proper resolve to fight in her subjects, you and I shall prove that her trust in us is well deserved. Onward!
Oh no, there's only 2 of us. Okay, tactical phase. Combat begins with the tactical phase, during which characters cannot attack or take other actions, but may try to take up advantageous positions. So it's a setup phase. Select a character by clicking left mouse button on their portrait at the top of the screen. Then left mouse button on the cell that you want the character to move to. Red cells are areas inaccessible. Let's see. During the tactical phase, each character in the party may move up to their maximum movement points, but cannot position themselves adjacent to an enemy. Does that mean that those movement points are also consumed for our first turn? We'll see. Press space to start the battle. Okay, it doesn't look like we're gonna have, like, cover. I don't know much about Abelard yet. Can I actually, yep, I can look at his character screen. So he is a what, exactly? Let's see. He is a warrior. Those ones are the melee guys, okay. He gets charge, moves in a straight line, and launches a melee attack against any target in the warrior's path. This attack does not count towards the limit of the warrior's attacks per turn. Okay. So if we can use that every turn, we probably want to, because then you can charge and then you can attack afterwards. There must be at least 2 free cells between the warrior and the target to use charge. Okay. Also endure. Until the warrior's next turn, all incoming damage is reduced by their toughness bonus, and the warrior gains a plus toughness bonus to temporary wounds. Oh, also, whenever they say something like a bonus, so toughness, toughness I'm guessing is part of strength or weapon skill. Oh no, it's actually a stat here. So his toughness is 50, and the toughness bonus is divided by 10. So 50 is your base stat, divided by 10 would be 5, so that characteristic bonus that you see right there, the plus 5 is that. I believe it also rounds down, so if we were at 55, it would still be a plus 5. So in other words, we want even numbers on our stats, which I don't think that I did when I did this. Yeah, so like, I have a bunch of things that are halfway there, which is fairly inefficient. So you can see that I'm only getting a plus 3 from that, plus 3 from that. So when I built my character, some people were probably screaming at me, but once again, I don't know how this game works, so I didn't know that. But when we get the opportunity to raise some of our stats, one of our goals is probably going to be getting these to an even number so that we can get a better bonus from a lot of these. So like we're missing out on a plus 5 bonus here, a plus 4 bonus, plus 4 bonus, and a plus 4 bonus. So, I wish I would have known that when I did my character build, but I didn't, so... But that's okay. Just wanted to mention that for all of you. We're being a little bit inefficient, but we're also not on the hardest difficulties, so hopefully it won't hurt us too much and we can correct it as we build our character. I don't know at what levels, maybe it's every level we get bonuses in our stats, but I really don't know how the level up system works in this. It seems like we're going to be getting a lot more levels than you get in D&D, for instance, so I'm guessing that our stat bonuses are going to come more frequently than in D&D, so. Okay, so incoming damage is reduced by toughness bonus, and the warrior gains a plus toughness bonus to their temporary wounds. So temporary HP, essentially. They have ultimate abilities. We'll look at that when we actually have an ultimate ability to use, and go from there. We'll have to slowly learn each of these new characters as we go. Brace for impact. 0 AP. For 1 round, the Navy officer and their allies in a 3-cell radius gain +2 deflection for each archetype taken by the Navy officer. Archetype defines a character's role in the game. The rank of the chosen archetype will increase, opening up access to new abilities and talents. So in other words, when we have more of these abilities, or Do we not get more bonuses until we get to level 16 and pick one of these archetypes? That I don't know. If I click on this... Okay, these are called characteristics. Yeah, not 100% on that, but maybe it's characteristics that will add to this, but we'll see. They also cannot be forcefully moved or overpenetrated. Okay. Now, Abelard is melee, so he's going to want to be closer. Okay, this is our heavy. Everybody else has 6. Since they go first, I may actually want Abelard to be over on this side. I like that during the setup phase you actually know what the initiative is going to be. Allows you to set up tactically, you know? He's a warrior. He specializes in melee combat and drawing the enemy's attacks. Charge is a unique warrior ability that works only when they are using a melee weapon and is not considered an attack action. Use charge to close the distance between you and the enemy and deal damage. Click the left mouse button on the ability's icon and choose the direction to charge in. If an enemy is in a direct path of charge, Abelard will attack them and still be able to use an attack action afterwards if he has not used one this turn. This character is using a melee weapon. Melee attacks require the character to be adjacent to the enemy. Yep, use the strike ability. Unlike single shots, melee attacks hit automatically with no need for a roll. I did not know that. The enemy will try to dodge and parry the attack. Got you. So you don't have to roll a hit, but they get to roll their dodge and parries. The enemy will try to dodge and parry if they are using a melee weapon of their own. Okay. If they are using a melee weapon of their own. So if they're ranged only, then we just get an attack on them. Melee weapons can be used to make area attacks. All creatures in the area will suffer damage unless they succeed on a dodge test. Okay. Or a parry test if they are armed with melee. Okay, so dodge is for... Okay, so maybe the ranged people use dodge, and then parry is for the people who use melee. Is that right? Damage dealt by melee weapons depends on the weapon's parameters and the attacker's strength score. Okay, so we want to build strength for a melee character. Now, the AoE thing... So I'm guessing that we'll be able to hit both here. Yeah, so it's in a straight line. It doesn't curve around.
It will be done. I took care of this one.
Okay, one of you parried. Good for you. Oh, I should have charged first. Your character has just missed. To increase the chance, equip your character with a decent weapon and place them on a vantage point. Is high ground a thing? High and low ground in this game? Abilities and talents that improve the weapon skill characteristics will help you hit more often in close combat. Okay. For improved marksmanship, learn talents that increase the perception and ballistic skill characteristics. Okay, so for our range stuff, perception is also going to be important. So ballistic skill, perception. So we may need to invest in perception if we care about hitting with ranged weapons. Okay. Okay, this is our momentum. And once we get here, we can use a momentum skill, is that right? Okay, we'll have to see how that works. Okay, so this isn't like Baldur's Gate, where if you have the same initiative, you can do them interchangeably. Your initiative is your initiative, so it looks like we need to And we can't move after doing that attack, so I can't still use this, unfortunately. I messed that up. Wait, can I do that? But we take the opportunity attack, makes sense. He parried, that's okay. Companions can get hurt by your burst shots or area attacks. To avoid friendly fire, keep an eye on the trajectory of the shots and the area of effect of area attack abilities. You got it. The combat abilities of characters differ depending on their archetype. Available abilities are located at the bottom right of the screen on the abilities panel. To read the full description, hover your cursor over its icon or right mouse button on it. Okay, before the ability is used, you will get to review its estimated outcome while hovering your cursor over a character or an area of your choosing. You'll also see the ability's area of effect. Each character in the area have a number displayed over them denoting the probability of being successfully affected. If the ability's effect is guaranteed to work, the ability icon is displayed instead of a number. Okay, when you are ready to use the ability, click left mouse button again to confirm your choice. Your characters will gain new abilities and talents as their power grows. You can view the full list of abilities on the character's abilities page. Okay. So my turn. Now, you're not going to be good at this stuff, so... Alright, so I do have to be next to them to see what the hit chance is going to be. A pistol burst. Oh. Interesting. %. Now once again, the range is 6, so is that diagonal as well? 1, 2, 3, 4, probably not. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know how that, I may have to look that up. How to calculate range on their grid. So X switches weapon. Oh, it switches between like a set of weapons. Gotcha. 65 and 33% behind. $49 and 2%. Gotcha. Oh, you click that once and it activates. Gotcha. So let me make sure that I understand this. It's a single shot. Our next single shot or melee marks the target. I don't understand the allied target thing. So whoever we hit with this is going to get marked. And then the person who kills that person gets another move. But if we kill them before they're marked, it doesn't matter. Correct? I believe that's correct. Okay, and I should definitely be using this, it sounds like, and we'll only be able to use it on the same character every other turn. Or every 3 turns? One of those two. But we just boosted his abilities by +13. Okay, he's the big one. Who is he shooting at? Okay, so it looks like that's only getting a +3 for some reason, but everything else is a +13. So it's not that you're choosing an ability. He just gets a +13 in everything, which guarantees at least another plus to every single roll that you do, because everything will go, yeah, +4, which would have been a +3, +4, which would have been a +3, etc., right? So that one would have been a +4, now it's a +5, etc. Okay. So the attack of opportunities are a thing here. we have to have 2 squares to be able to charge. So... Oh, and I'm kind of boxed in, because I can't move there. Now let's look at these. We have a strike, 8 to 10, and a cleave, which costs 2 AP. Okay, 93s. And that one only hits 1, huh?
Victory is imminent.
Now, after our attack, we don't get to move, and because of where we were at, we won't get to use the charge because people were too close to us.
That's not the Seneschal's job.
Oh, can we charge that direction? Okay, we'll take the opportunity attacks. Cool. So you can go diagonal. Your character has just landed a critical hit that deals increased damage equal to the character's critical damage stat. Character's critical damage is 150% of their normal damage by default. However, certain talents, effects, and abilities can increase it. Each weapon has its own critical damage stat, which is added to the character's total stat value during attacks. Okay. Okay, well, I may have to look up how critical is calculated as well. Is there a critical level on this? It said that there was, maybe only some weapons have an addition to critical chance. Once per combat.
I will do my duty.
Okay, we'll brace for impact because we're getting close to the end of this fight. Yeah, and once again, we misuse this. This would have been good to put on this guy, I think. Good effort. And we can't put this on you again, right? Can you put it over yourself?
I won't compromise my principles.
Okay, that's all we can do then.
Let's make some opportunities. I'll make it happen. Another enemy down.
Okay, got him. Experience points. You can advance the level of your character and companions. Prevailing in battles, exploring the Koronus Expanse, and completing quests earns you experience points. Once you've accumulated enough, your character gains a new level. Click on the arrow symbol on a character's portrait to open up the level up screen. Just like Baldur's Gate, each level gained offers your characters new progression options, which include the new abilities, talents, skill improvements, and other enhancements. Okay, both of them got level ups. 70 experience, 79 experience, and ooh, we're finally going to be able to loot, it looks like. Okay, let's F10 this, because this is the first time we're leveling up, in case I want to try and redo it for any reason. Okay. One rank available. Oh, and those are what give us the bonuses? So different abilities can come with bonuses. Yeah? Huh. I wonder if there's ever a point where we get to choose specifically what we want to get bonuses in or not. So persuasion, commerce, coercion, carouse, which carouses what? Oh, the ability to not take negative effects. So it affects like our injuries, I think. Lore Imperium. At this archetype rank, it is possible to increase character skills. The higher the skill score, the easier it will be to pass corresponding skill tests. Okay. And so sometimes it looks like there might be a choice between two different things. Yeah, we'll just have to see how this works as we go. Oh, we're choosing one of these. I understand. Both of those would give us bonuses. So these aren't changing, but our skills inside of those things are changing. Coercion's already of +5 right now, which is pretty good. So coercion probably isn't necessary right now. So it's either persuasion or commerce. Characters' business sense and their ability to make profitable bargains. Persuasion, I think, is the one that I want most right now. Okay. There we have it. Okay, your Medicae is what? A 30? I don't know how to build you yet, if I'm being honest. Athletics probably is pretty good for you, right? Ability to traverse difficult terrain. Yeah, for somebody who's running around, that one's a good one. So that would give you a... better bonus there. Coercion, demolition, Medicae. I don't know if you're the person that we want to focus on Medicae stuff in. So Medicae is based off of intelligence, and your intelligence is at 30. So yeah, it seems like your current build is telling us that intelligence is not going to be your strong suit. So these ones with the pluses are probably... or with these thumbs up. Yeah, let's go into athletics then. Carouse definitely is good for a frontliner like you because you're going to be taking a lot of hits. So I understand why that's really high. Let's do athletics though. So that's going to get your athletics to a 50. Now, I don't know if there is a way to re-roll your characters later on, if you make mistakes, but I kind of hope there is, just because I have no idea how to build my characters right now. But we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, when we look at our inventory, do we have a weight limit that we can see immediately? Not seeing one right off the bat, but that doesn't mean there isn't one. Alright. Collecting loot. Defeated enemies have no further need for their former belongings. You can discover valuable trophies among them. Items on the right side of the trophy collection window go to your inventory. Such items can be used or equipped by your character's. Items on the left are packed up as cargo and sent to your ship, which can later be used to trade with various factions. Cool. Okay. You can move trophies from one side to the window to the other by double-clicking or dragging them. You can use the bottom. You can use the buttons at the bottom to mass transfer all items from cargo to your inventory or vice versa. Okay, to inventory. Are we able to compare? Yes, we are comparing right now. So that is the same as what you've currently got, and I'm guessing yours is, yeah, yours is going to be better than that. So we don't need any of these. These can go straight to cargo, and they can be traded later. Okay, las pistol. That's probably going to be for you. but the one you've got is better. This one has dodge reduction, which the other one doesn't, but I think I'm gonna go raw damage for now. We'll keep this in our inventory just in case. Now... Okay, there we go. Cool.
I always keep my options open.
That was the only guy to loot? Does it do... Oh, it does an area loot. So when you do one person, it shows you everything in the area. I actually like that. That will make looting
I always have
quite a bit
backup
simpler.
plan.
Now, let's see. 1 and 2, I don't know what those are. Oh, those are these. Okay. Is it shift 1 is going to be these? Is there a way to select characters? Numpad 1 and 2? No. We'll figure it out later. Okay, we've done our first level up. Navigator Sanctum, let's go. Here's a map of your void ship. It consists of several parts between which you can travel. Some parts are not yet available, but over time your character will be able to access them. And so, like, this ship is, like, huge. They said that there are, like, thousands of colonizers on this ship, right? Okay, we want to go to the Sanctum. Okay, looks bad already. Game auto-saved. That's always a good sign.
Is directly along the passageway. I pray to the God Emperor that we are not too late.
And so, he will enter the halls of the blinded guide and witness the radiance of the final dawn through the cracks and fall victim to a whim of fate.
Master, watch your head.
Okay, are you a psyker?
Idira, would it be too much to ask that you phrase your soothsayings plainly for once? That was too close.
Sorry, old man. The voices are so loud I can't even hear myself. They shriek, they sing, they... Oh, Abelard, how they sing!
Ooh, she's losing it a little bit.
This is Idira Tlas, personal psyker and diviner of Her Ladyship Theodora von Valancius. Idira?
I'm not drunk, old man. I'm suffering the effects of the warp that is seeping through these walls. I see the ship's fate. To die in the waves of the Imperium, fall under the burning rays of the final dawn. And in the roaring blaze, I see a figure standing. Who is it? I have no answer.
The entity in your consciousness shrinks and crawls in deeper, its claws scraping against the walls of your mind, as if the presence is trying to hide from the seer standing before you. What is this consciousness in our head? I am so confused. A diviner, are you?
The voices from beyond the threshold whisper to me. Sometimes their murmurs are clear, they grant insight. Sometimes they drive me mad. But I am patient. I know how to listen and discern. But now, with this clamor around me, too many voices, too loud. And you are von Valancius, one of Lady Theodora's heirs. Well then, we finally meet.
Okay. Man, I never know when it's gonna stop voicing shit. Okay. You hear a few clicks from the relays on the servo skull, which has followed you all the way here, and Theodora's scrambled words give way to a voice vaguely familiar to you. Officer's frequency. To all who can hear me, those with a weapon in their hands are to gather on the officer's deck at once. I repeat, gather on the officer's deck at once and prepare to launch a counterattack.
That's Edelthrat. Oh, Emperor's Providence. The other heir lives as well. Quickly, we must head to...
Yeah, he was the guy who was an asshole, right?
Not so fast, old man. If we drown in the warp, Lady Theodora's heirs won't be any good to us. If Edelstrad's like me and hasn't yet surrendered his mind or body to the mercy of the warp, then he can still hold on a little longer without us.
Blast it! You're right. First, we need to deal with what is happening here.
How do you know who I am?
What? You think Lady Theodora didn't ask me to peek into the darkness behind the backs of those she sees as her prospective heirs? I have seen you. I have seen the footsteps of your past and the wounds of your heart.
You flinch at the seer's words. No doubt she's referring to the nightmares, the tortures inflicted upon your body and mind. Your muscles contract involuntarily, as if stilling themselves once more for the inevitable pain. What is that about? Is that part of our backstory that we picked, or is this something that everybody gets? What are you doing here?
The whispers called me. The ones I could make out among all the screams and screeches. Those who are rocking this boat hit us where it hurt. They went after the Navigator, our guide through the warp. Other whispers called me to the enginarium, but it was too late. I heard the cry of our master Cog, and the silence that followed.
Isn't that like guaranteed death? Like the Navigator is like 100% needed in order to get through this shit. A sanctioned noble mutant whose genes allow them to safely guide a warp-capable void ship through the warp. Yeah, that sounds really bad. They're like one of the most important people on the ship.
What? You don't mean the Engineer Prime is...
Said, without a doubt. And the voices wail, heralding countless nightmares, cackling at each soul among the hundreds that are now joining the warp. The shriek from the Navigator's Sanctum was louder than the rest. And it's better that we saved the Navigator than some lever puller from a cooling module or a cook from the middle decks.
We must see if the Navigator is well.
Oh no. No. Nothing is well about him. Can't you feel the chill crawling on your skin? The eyes watching you? The warp ice has already encased the bulkheads. What follows is calamity.
So if we were also a psyker, I'm wondering if we would be feeling some of the effects of this madness like she is.
But we're not just going to stand here and take it, are we? The state of things in here suggests there's a Navigator around. Maybe one who's crippled or at death's door, but still kicking. And since our skin hasn't peeled off our faces just yet, his third eye must be closed. At worst, it's a little roughed up. So what are we moping around for? Let's go protect that noble mutant while we're still alive.
Now, the game may explain this later, but this is part of the lore dump that I actually watched in Mortismal's video, but apparently when you're going through the warp, these navigators are super important because of this thing that they keep referring to as the third eye, and basically it can see a beacon. This third eye is the only thing that can see this beacon that leads them out of the warp. It's something that was set up by the Imperium or the God Emperor, I can't remember what. People will know much better than I, but they're the only people who can see this beacon that allows them to steer the ship towards it so that they can actually exit the warp. So just wanted to mention that since it keeps bringing it up, but the game hasn't really explained the lore behind it yet. And I explained it poorly, yes, but at least you have some idea. Maybe the game will get into it more for us. Help me out a little bit. Alright, Idira has joined the party, which now consists of several characters. To select one character, click the left mouse button on the portrait. To select multiple, you can drag a box around them. To select the entire party and issue commands to all of your characters at once, press backspace. Okay, so how do I tell if they're... So, when I click backspace, okay, these little portraits show us who's selected. So you can either select individual people, backspace selects all, you can also marquee. Okay, so backspace. Okay. Now, this is the direction we came from, is that right? Or is this where we came from? Hurry, destroy the field. Don't keep our master waiting. Damn heretics. Something dangerous is happening and I just go and look other directions. Gotta check for loot, you know? Okay.
Let us not dawdle.
Alright, so what is this guy? There was a dude in this chair a second ago. Maybe we're just too far away. Yeah. Hasn't loaded in yet. He's creating some kind of shield or force field? Vespiadas. Okay. I know nothing about you, girl. Okay. Yep, perception and willpower, so things to do with psychers. Damn, she is stacked in psychers and nothing else, looks like. She's got a psychic staff, strike and lightning arc. Okay. The wielder of the staff, power level 6, gains the lightning arc ability. The ability is also available in its heroic act and desperate measures version. Power levels affect the damage of this power. +5 willpower. She's a sanctioned psyker. Okay, this is the one she is. Unsanctioned would be like... That'd be heretical, right? Like, the Imperium would not be down for that. Analyze enemies. The operative targets one enemy within 10 cells from the operative. That target immediately gains +2 exploits. Which gives them a bonus to their attack. Okay, so the higher the stack, it just gives a better bonus to their damage? Yes, it's specifically damage. 5 times the perception bonus. So like in your case, your perception is a +4, so it would be 5 times 4. Cool. 20% more damage. The damage is also increased by 10% for each exploit on the target. The attack removes all exploits from the target. Forewarning, the Psyker increases the target's dodge and parry by +10% until the end of combat. Okay. Put that on our frontliners. It's 1 AP. Psychic Shriek deals 7 to 16 damage to the target. Okay, and that's probably based on their willpower. 12 cell radius, wow. Okay, awareness. Alright. She's probably not a huge frontliner, if I had to guess. Okay. You know, Abelard rolled pretty bad initiative, so maybe we'll pull him back. He can take hits, but maybe we'll put him here. We got really good initiative. You can use the hologram to gauge the effectiveness of your intended actions in combat before taking them. Click left mouse button on any accessible cell in the battlefield to place the character's hologram there. Select an ability and single shot attack to see the expected outcome. Oh, cool, okay. This action will be displayed as if used from the hologram's location to let you assess whether you have picked an effective position for the action you are planning to take. The hologram also lets you see if the enemy will be within your line of sight after you move to the selected cell. Again, to confirm your choice, click left mouse button again to confirm. Right mouse button anywhere on the battlefield, or press the escape key to cancel it. Okay, so clicking that is the hologram, and then we can check our abilities from that space. Very cool. Okay, 23 for each of those.
I'm ready for whatever comes.
Oh, no, that's not what I wanted at all. Whoops, I didn't realize I was confirming that move. Good job, me. Okay, well, our mark is wasted again. Is there a quick load I can... was there a quick save recently? There is not. Damn it. Okay, and since our stats are bad on that, so the 95, is that taking that parry into account? Total hit chance was 95 with dodge, cover, parry, and deviation. So he just rolled really well. He got that 5%. Well done, sir. Well done. Okay, this was a huge mistake. Voice of Command Abelard. Idira is a psyker and an operative. As an operative, she can study opponents and identify their weaknesses, and her psyker abilities allow her to deal damage to them. Analyze enemies is an operative ability which applies the exploit effect to all enemies within the operative's line of sight. All enemies within line of sight. At the start of each of the operative's turns, the operative can also use the ability against a specific enemy to inflict several stacks of this effect. The higher the operative's intelligence bonus, the more exploit stacks will be inflicted. Whenever the operative hits a target with an exploit applied to them, the attack deals additional damage. The amount of extra damage depends on the target's number of exploit stacks and the operative's perception. Expose Weakness is an operative ability which they can use against a single enemy who is under the exploit effect. This ability reduces the enemy's dodge, parry, and armor. Okay. And this is all based on intelligence, yes? The amount of extra damage depends on the targets, okay. Perception and intelligence seems to be the big ones for them. Idira is armed with a special staff that allows the Psyker to unleash psychic powers against enemies. In the future, you will encounter staves that only a Psyker versed in a certain discipline can use. For example, you might find a staff that lets a Psyker use Inferno. But to do so, they must first have the Pyromancy Psychic Discipline learned. Okay. So your stacks are automatically applied based on who you can see at the start of your turn? So you select one creature within a 12-cell radius. Okay. Lightning Arc. Ooh, okay, it looks like it hits multiple people too. So you choose one and it arcs to other people. chains up to 4 targets within the 3 cell radius. Analyze that guy, which adds more stacks to him. And we're going to give you more dodge and parry because you're kind of out in the shit. Charge this boy. And you don't even have a gun on. I did not even realize that. Okay, can't equip in combat. Good to know. Okay, and that gives us some more bonuses if they attack us. Oh, that guy was the marked one. So you got another move. I did not even realize. Okay, so we did get to use that. And it's mostly because you missed, but it still marked him, huh? But if he had died, we wouldn't have gotten the next move.
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones. It will be done.
Okay, 56% chance.
Taking calculated risk is in my second nature.
Okay, he dodged, that's fine.
I'll see to it personally.
And then you've already got voice of command, so... Well, you're on your cooldown for being able to get voice of command, so we put it on you. Good to go. Okay, don't know what misfortune is. Let's see, how do I check that? Curses a creature and decreases its dodge for 1 round. It got put on me, gotcha. Okay, not bad. The creature in the chair appears as if it has become one with its throne. You see pink parchment-like skin stretched between the seat and the limbs that have too many joints for a normal human being. What the... Dude, there's some like cosmic horror shit going on in the warp. The limbs have too many joints for a normal human being. The Navigator is breathing heavily, the air whistling as it exits through the 2 dark gill-like slits on its cheeks. The creature's eyes are shut, the 2 ordinary eyes as well as the 3rd one that sits in the center of its forehead. I believe Master Vespiadas still lives. Abelard flinches at the sight of the stretched skin and the dark marks on the face of the creature. The servants are dead, but the chamber, thank the Emperor, is still sealed from the warp. Well, we have a chance of leaving this place alive. Dude, why would Conrad want to kill this guy? Like, wouldn't he die along with everybody else? He's dooming us all to the warp? Like, I don't know what his plan is. Address Idira. What is wrong with him? Idira winces, wounded, exhausted, fighting back the endless horrors of the warp that are forcing their way into his head. Pick one. The Navigator stirs, barely able to lift his head and half open his normal eyes. A dark drop rolls from under the closed lid of the third eye and down his face, leaving behind a black trail. Your time is short. The voice is coming from the Vox grill at the base of the bizarre chair. It is unclear how the Navigator is able to produce human speech. Our time is short to do what? Suddenly, the Navigator's body starts thrashing in place. It lurches forward, then falls back into the seat, then thrusts forward again, and its bones crack, and its skin tears open. However, the fusion between the body and the chair appears to be stronger than these wild impetuses. Ugh. The mutant remains seated, but leans as far forward as he can, his layered raiment slowly turning crimson. This is disgusting. The gill slit bursts open, framing two hideous screaming mouth-like pits. Fall to your knees, mortals, and behold the final dawn. Idira shrieks in terror. It came from beyond. His body is not his. Idira's scream is echoed by the silent cries in your head. The unseen creature triumphs at the sight of the Navigator succumbing to the paroxysm of corruption. Its march thunders under the burden of hopes. Unseal your hearts, and I will flood your souls with myriads of words and meanings, each one a portent of salvation within me. The Navigator continues to convulse violently in his seat, shrieking and cackling, but then his fit stops abruptly. His face is drenched in black and crimson. The dark ooze from under his third eyelid has turned from a trickle into a stream, mixed with the blood coming out of his nose, and there is a purplish swelling around the eye. Run, flee from this place while I still have the strength. The words come out of the Vox as a labored rattle. I can contain the intrusion, but not for long. We must begin the translation. Leave the warp, but it can't be done without the Master Helmsman's help. Oof. That seems like a bad idea. If he's holding on for a little bit, we need to take advantage of that. I want to help you. Tell me how. The Navigator takes a ragged breath. Run. The Sanctum will be sealed. I will hold it off. Hold on, and wait for the signal from the Master Helmsman. Then I will commence the translation. So run. Run. Damn, he's gonna do everything he can to make sure that we get out alive. Mad respect. Who torments you? The Edge. The Navigator starts thrashing about once more, his gill mouths bursting with crazed laughter. Kneel before the ascent of a new champion. When the rite is complete, this shell will burst, and thousands of Maws will accept the sacrifice offered to the edge of daybreak by the bringer of twilight, the one marked by the will of the gods. Each word rings through your head like the tolling of a bell, as if countless voices have joined in, screaming into your ears. For a moment you lose your bearings. This unholy chorus must be trying to confound you with sounds not meant for this world. What is this supposed to mean? Addressing your companions. A rite, a sacrifice offered. Oh, my heart tells me that Conrad was not deterred by his defeat in the Warrant chamber. What? Conrad betrayed Lady Theodora? Idira clutches her head. But how is that? How? He was as loyal as a dog, and I didn't hear a thing, I swear. The Navigator, or rather the thing that is so determined to seize his body, erupts into mocking laughter. The footfalls of the bringer of twilight are veiled by the will of his masters. Tear out your eyes, she who is to become the champion's servant, for you need them no longer. She who is to become the champion's servant. Jesus, tear them out because you need them no longer? Yeah, this is some cosmic horror shit. I like it. Address Abelard. The Navigator is still alive, but barely so. What do we do now? The Seneschal gazes at the figure in the chair. The ship can only begin the translation with the assistance of the Master Helmsman. If he is still alive, it is worth a try. We must get to the bridge, but we will need support. Our only option is to fight our way to the officer's deck and join forces with Adelthrad and his people. I believe we will also find Lady Theodora there. Is Adelthrad gonna try and kill Lady Theodora? I wonder if he might be in cahoots. I don't know. We won't judge yet. She must have heard the call to arms and that the servo skull relayed to us earlier. Idira reaches her hand out towards the Navigator but pulls it back at the last moment. Vespiadas, good luck and thank you. The Navigator does not give a response. Black tears mixed with blood are streaming from under the closed eyelids, and the Vox at the base of the chair is bellowing out static, interspersed with distant echoes of otherworldly laughter. Heavy, dude. This is heavy. Okay, we have to head to the helm, find the helmsman who's going to help us get out of the warp. So, this is where we're going to end this episode. Wild episode, man. This is crazy so far. I understand so little, but I'm loving what I'm seeing so far. And this world is absolutely insane, which bodes well for it in my book. But yeah, thank you all for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next episode. I'd like to give a very special shout out to my patron supporters: Darren York, ZTD, Knife Namaste, Kyle the Monarch, Chris Murphy, JW, Quinless, Vlado101, Andy Ford, Bruce Wizzle, Black Mamba 90, Eureka Gecko, A Happy Fat Panda, Turkeyfoot 27, Pedo Kuto, Shadow Raven, and Nadia N. If you would also like to join this tier or any others, check out my memberships or my Patreon in the description down below.